Truly African.
Good evening and welcome to Talk Time. Today I'm sitting in for Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. Tonight on Talk Time, we are going to be looking at the country's education system. We are looking at the challenges. We are looking at the implementation of a free senior high school policy. We are looking at how best we can make the country's education system better. You can share the Facebook Live because we are streaming live on Facebook. Please share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. My name is Justice Zapia, and tonight on Talk Time, we'll be joined by Reverend Jonathan Bette, former Director of Communication, Ghana Education Service. So thank you so much for joining us on Talk Time.
Thank you too.
Right, how have you been?
It's been nice as long as life is concerned. I've been having a good time with myself.
Right. Now let's start with a conversation. Let's look at the country's education system.
Yes.
I mean, you have been a former Director of Communication for the Ghana Education Service. What do you make of the education system as it stands now?
Well, as it is now, I can say that there are a lot of challenges education services facing. As long as, as far as the senior high school free education is concerned, the education sector is facing a lot of challenges as a result of the rush in the policy that they've brought in as a free senior high school policy. School children are facing a lot of challenges. Parents are also facing the same challenges. Teachers are also going through a tough time with the policy. Though the policy is rolling, is going on, there are a lot of children who completed this their senior high school as a result from the government shouldn't be is being joked with politics.
Okay.
Politics, when politics comes into education, you realize that everything that they do will be in rush. A rush so that they'll get a mark, they'll get a point that we have done this and they couldn't do this and that. I think we are not here to talk about political points, but what I want to talk about right now is that when the school children resume, you realize that parents go through trauma. Parents, they'll give them a date that this so and so date schools are reopening. You realize that parents will be in a rush running up and down when they get to the school premises also,
where they are touting most of these achievements of this.
At that time, before you qualify to go to senior high school, we make sure that you go through a system which qualifies you. You write your exams, you pass efficiently before you go. But we realize that because government at that time wanted a lot of these students to go to school, the grade was low. Going to university with such a grade that qualifies them to be in a university, but not a strong grade. They are not qualified as far as education, the quality of education is concerned. You know, when you start a policy, you would like to make the policy 8.
Okay.
But when you, after doing that, you realize that when they get to the school and they are not performing well, you don't want failure. So you find, to make the point. That is what we are feeling now. See, there are a lot of challenges that this is facing. So I am standing with the view that the policy needed to be reviewed so that...
And we will come to whether or not the school policy is raised. Government tells you that there's no new policy that would not face any challenge. And so these challenges are expected. How would you react to that?
Well,
new policy?
Yes, it's a fact, undeniable fact, that a new policy by all means will face a challenge.
Exactly.
Let's leave every issue aside. If you are introducing a new thing, by all means, there'll be challenges. But before you introduce a new thing, you must do your homework.
Okay.
And homework by making sure that where are the students going? Where are they going to stay or to live in? Dining hall facilities, those facilities, and we're not a lot of things in the system which is not making the education suitable for our children. But as far as it's named free, people are going in.
Now you talked about infrastructure. You talked about conditions of service for teachers. We'll probably come to that. There are many times you would hear that there are no teaching and learning materials as well. You would also hear that contact hours are not enough for the students and all of that. I don't know if you would want to make any comment on that. Under your watch, compared to now, what has been the situation? What was the situation when you were the PRO in terms of contact hours, teaching and learning materials? Because when it comes to teaching and learning materials, as for that one, it has been something we've been hearing over and over and over again. It's not under this government alone.
Well, it's a fact that it's not under this government alone. But when the previous government was ruling, we realized that students forced students to a textbook. And sometimes also the textbooks were given to them one. So that when they go home, they can sit down and read a day student. Boarding also, they own the books themselves. But now that we are seeing that there are a lot of these textbooks in the system, they are not enough for them. Because students are more than the textbooks that they have in the schools. They are more than the textbooks they have in the school. So when we talk about the challenges, it's also part of the challenges.
What makes it difficult for any government to procure enough textbooks for students, no matter how many?
I think the economic system we're facing, global economy. The Ministry of Education, for that matter, they formulate policies that Ghana Education Service implement this, do this, and do it. And you can't bring policy to Ghana Education Service and they'll refuse implementing it. So whatever a new government or a government wanted Ghana Education Service to do, that is what it will do. So if you formulate a policy that I wanted it free, Ghana Education Service has nothing to say that I will not implement it. So the implementation is where they're facing the challenges, because financially, as I was saying, that economically, money was not there.
Because you and I would agree that when there are no chalks, we call on the service. When there are no teaching and learning materials, we call on the service.
Yes.
Currently, we are told that a certain amount of money was actually used in procuring past questions for the students. This is because there are no textbooks. At whose doorsteps should we lay this blame?
I think it should have been Ghana Education Service. If the Ministry of Education provides those things, Ghana Education Service will implement it. Will go on to send the chalk when those schools that are using chalk now. Chalk is fading off.
Very well.
We're using marker, pen, and other things. So when you bring the material like textbooks, the ministry brings textbook. Ghana Education Service, by all means, will send the textbooks to the schools. If you send chalks, they will send the chalks. If you send a marker pen, they will send the marker pens to the various schools. So this time there is a disparities also when we talk about those needs of the schools. There are a lot of disparities also in the system where the district director of education, district director will also blame regional director of education.
Right.
And regional director has nothing to do. If you blame the government, if you're not, they will refuse the blame.
Now let's look at contact hours for students. Now, because of the double track system, you have some students going to spend like 2 months in school. They will come and spend more than 3-4 months at home before they go back. Are we able to do the exact contact hours that a student or students would need?
My answer can be no, because the contact hours are not enough for the children. Even for the teachers also, they are complaining that if they prepare their notes, if they prepare to go to the classroom, before you realize, they would not be able to finish before school vacates. So preparing our children adequately is facing a lot of challenges.
Okay.
So the contact hours, if the school, the timetable were to be planned very well, the contact hours, when
policy, whereas others believe that every Ghanaian child must benefit from the free senior high school policy. Others are also of the view that there are parents who can pay, and so parents that are able or that are capable of paying for their wards school fees be allowed to pay, so that the free senior high school will be limited to the less privileged. Do you agree with those who are saying that it should be limited to the less privileged?
I believe that would be the right thing, would have been the right thing, because all fingers are not equal. There are people who will even like this policy to stay if they are paying for their awards. And those less privileged children also, that what I mean is less privileged is that whose parents cannot afford paying for textbooks and other things. People who have money should pay for their awards.
And who shouldn't benefit from something that the state is taking to benefit from the free senior high school policy, and then you deny other people. You are not being fair to those that you are denying.
It's a fact. It's a fact. We are not talking about denial, total denial. We are saying that if a parent is able or says that I can pay for my ward, he should be able to pay for this ward. And government should also take care of those parents who will not be able to afford the fees. Yes, that is what we are standing in for. That's what I personally stand for, of the reviewing.
I see, because the challenges are enormous. You've spoken about the contact hours, you've spoken about who should pay and who shouldn't pay, and all of that. But which other areas would you call for?
I am talking about the track system. If it is time for first years to go to school, they should all go. Meaning that,
but you've talked about the fact that we don't have enough infrastructure to all of them to go. They should all go. How are we able to, accommodate all these numbers without
program?
Okay,
the policy was in a rush. Now, if the government also follow the system of progressively, by the time that school children come to school, you realize that they have enough infrastructure.
Okay,
good to technical. That's why we have TVET, Technical Vocational Institute. So when you say all should go to secondary schools, and they go, those who have 39, aggregate 39, and some also had 40. There is a lady I know somewhere, the mother said my ward had 45, aggregate 45. When I came back home, I realized that that girl has gone to school. He's gone to secondary school. Going to do what? What is he going to do over there? The girl was bad at that time at the basic school level. That girl to system. That child could be sent to vocational or technical, where she will learn sewing, where she will learn baking, and many other things, so that she will also come back as a good citizen in this country to earn a living. But we push all. We wanted people to praise us that, during my time, we had 45,000 students going to this particular school, for the particular school.
So you think that the policy has been implemented for political expediency and not for the good of, the students?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. And I'm not dodging the fact that politics is in every system in this country. I think the government was making everything our attention has been shifted from technical or vocational institutions to secondary school system. If the government will pay much attention to technical and vocation, my brother or my son, we will build this country with technology. Some of these children are not good academically, but when you give them things of vocations or technology, you realize that they are talented. These students are talented. So that is another point that we facing, that some of us are agitating that it should be reviewed.
The service. Under your watch, I don't think that much attention was also paid to technical and vocational education. Why is this so?
Well, this is a very beautiful question. You know, the former government, when I was a PRO, put measures in place that these schools, I'm going to, this, where I have this building, the school infrastructure, is going to be a technical school.
Okay.
Some will be vocational schools. And they've started adding more buildings from power.
Okay.
So I believe if they were to be in power by now or for the past 6 years, we would have a lot of vocational schools and technical schools in this country.
Primary schools and various junior high schools and all of that. And you ask the kids, after GHS, which school do you want to attend? You realize that they are all tilting towards the secondary school. It does appear as though students with low IQ are ones that would have to be sent to the technical schools and all of that. It looks as if the education system, why has it been so for all these years?
I think personally, I'm against that system where vocational. So it shouldn't be so.
That is my worry.
It shouldn't be so. We should when we categorize the children that this person is going to technical, it means that the guidance and counseling coordinator or teacher in the school has done enough work on the children, educating them. When you go to technical school, this is what you are going to become. There are engineers, there are pilots who passes through technical education. They are flying left and right. I mean, our aeroplanes and many other things. When you go to the seaman, some also they didn't go through university to KUNST, but they've gone through the technical system, and they are very good now that we are proud of as a nation. So when we apportion blame to government alone, it shouldn't be a government alone, but collective responsibility of both the teacher in the classroom, who should help parents and the school children to identify their talents. That if the guidance and counseling coordinator, the teacher also knows that I am teaching this child and I have studied him, I realize that he's a technical student, he's brilliant here, he's very clever here, the child should be directed to go to technical and vocational.
There again, it's a failure on the country as well as the ministry and the Ghana Education Service, because you may go to some of these schools and they don't even have the department of guidance and counseling, in order to have some of these students counseled. The secondary school I attended, at the time I was in the secondary school, I was there wasn't any department as such. So how are we able to even identify some of these people?
There are a lot of guidance and counseling.
All the secondary schools across the country.
At least greater number of them are having to counsel them, especially when children are not performing well in the school. They bring them to them. Fact, they educate them, and then the guidance and counseling coordinator at the district level. In the district offices, we have counselors. In the regional education offices, we have counselors. They have been going to the school.
What about the schools in itself?
The school, that's what I'm saying.
Don't you think that the schools should have a department where you have 2 or 3 of these persons over there?
They can't have more than one.
Fine,
because the teachers
will
travel
falter for this. who should we blame for teachers traveling outside the country for greener pastures? We are producing a lot of teachers day in, day out. That is why we have the training colleges in the country. Teachers are graduating day in, day out. We have the University of Education, Winneba. It produces a lot of teachers. We have UCC, which produces a lot of teachers. Now the likes of University of Ghana and then KNUST are all, offering education-related, programs and all of that. Why is it that we are still not having enough teachers? Why are we battling with the issue of adequate teachers?
I think the question is not having enough teachers in the system. Is that not it? It is because the economic hardship in the country is not favoring teachers.
Okay.
Teachers will go and take their salaries within 1 month. I say 1 month, 1 week, the salary is finished. But there are other places, other countries, when you go, they value teachers.
Here in Ghana, they say your reward is in heaven.
It can never be heaven. If I don't go to heaven, it means that I miss it.
Okay.
So I don't want to miss it in heaven. So I want to have it on earth here.
Okay.
So if the salary is enough, teachers are taken care of, payment is good, teachers will remain, and we can have 3 or 4 guidance and counseling.
Producing enough teachers.
Teachers
the
are
country
people.
produces enough teachers.
Yes.
Except that their conditions of service isn't nothing good to write home about.
Yes.
And so they want to go to places where they are treated well.
Yes.
Now let's come to the conditions of service for teachers. The issue of teachers embarking on strike actions and all of that isn't something new. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. Why?
As we tackle that issue of economic hardship in the country, teachers want to be satisfied enough with salaries. The condition is not favoring teachers. It's like if you promise teachers that I'll give you a laptop. I don't know whether I'm jumping the gun.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Yes. I'll give you a laptop so that your teaching will be done effectively. Waited for the laptop for more than 1 year. It could not come. And now that the laptop, some are giving the laptops are not quality laptops. You use them 1 week, you use them 1 month, it has to go for a repair. I was also given, I had one, but mine, it has no problem. I actually am using mine right now that I have retired.
Okay.
So condition of teachers are not the best that we can boast of in this country. That is why teacher unions are always fighting for their members. And the fighting, in actual fact, when teachers go on strike, it affects parents, students, and everything in the system. You see the children going up and down, doing nothing. This is the reason why government, for that matter, Minister of Education, should put his feet down. That I want to avoid this in the system. What should I do to avoid this? Let me understand where teachers are coming from. Let me meet their needs for them. You understand? Because they are not able to satisfy the teachers. That is calling for the strike actions that we are experiencing now.
Right. Two issues, then we wrap up, because I've been prompted that I need to wrap up. First one. The work of a teacher is very, very important.
Yes.
I mean, without a teacher, I couldn't have been sitting here conducting this interview. Without a teacher, the president wouldn't have been a president. Without a teacher, the lawyer wouldn't have been a lawyer. A lecturer wouldn't have not even been a lecturer. And so the question is, why is it that your work is important, yet you are not treated well?
I think it's the number of teachers in the system. The government have always been saying that teachers are more. The number is great. Teachers that passes from training colleges, the 38 training colleges that we have in the system now are more in the system. So the economic hardship in the country could not allow the government to pay them sufficiently. I think those are the challenges the government is also facing. And we're also saying that as far as we have completed the training college and we are posted into the classroom, we should be attended to. Our needs should be met. So if the government is also, for that matter, Ministry of Education is doing his best. Teachers are people, if you take your time and handle them, you can tame them. You can tame teachers.
Okay.
When you talk to them politely, they will listen to you.
Right.
But where you will say that this cannot be done for teachers because their number is large and this and that, teachers will also tell you that no, we will also rise up against whatever you are saying, and you can't feed them.
Finally,
Yes.
finally, teacher licensure exams. Do you think it's reasonable? The teacher has gone through the training college system. Several exams have been conducted. In fact, if the person had not passed, the person wouldn't have been admitted at the training college. If the person at the training college had not passed his or her, papers, the person wouldn't have graduated to become a teacher. Now, government is saying that after you have graduated, after your national service, you must write certain exams before you get the license to teach. Does it make sense to you? Do you think it should be encouraged?
It does not make sense with
Why?
me, as far as I am concerned, because the teacher had all the qualification to go to training college.
Okay.
He passed the first semester, the second semester exams, and has been promoted to second year,
Okay.
third year, and it is now a degree. All the training colleges are doing degree.
You're now running 4-year
program,
and you come out with a degree.
A degree.
Previously, it was a diploma.
Diploma.
It started with certificate,
Exactly.
diploma, and then it comes to degree.
Now it is a degree. So if a degree holder is asked to write exam before certificate is given to him or her, I have not seen that reason. So if they enter into the training college, you realize that they are not doing well. That is where you intensify. If the person rewrite at the training college, you fail your first semester exam.
Right.
You rewrite, and you are promoted to complete as a degree holder. I think that one will be better, and there wouldn't be any need for this licensure. The licensure is making people who completed the training college sitting with their parents again, and parents are crying, why should I send my ward to training college after completion? He has come or she has come to stay in the house again looking for a job. I think that's another problem. So I am also of the view that it should be scrapped off. It shouldn't be at all. When you complete, you are given the certificate as a degree holder from this training college. You should be posted to your station and start work, and that ends it. If you want to go and do your masters, that is where from training college you have to go and do your masters in any program at all you deem fit. But writing licensure exam now, and if you fail, you are coming back home.
Yes. You'd have to try it again.
You have to try it. Some people wrote it 3 times. I was told. There's a sister who called me. Oh, my brother, uncle, can you help me with this and this and this? I wrote it and I was failed 2 times. That lady is pregnant now at home. If you're not careful, the future of that lady can never be described.
We are talking of quality teachers.
Yes.
And so, is this teacher licensure exams not meant to flash out, the bad ones, those who are not really serious and all of that? But if we are looking for quality teachers, if you are looking for very qualified ones and all of that, and you are done with your training college, you are done with maybe UCC or University of Education, and you are asked to write a licensure exams and be given a license to teach. Why should that be difficult?
Maybe the reason could be that the child or the student had aggregate 27, aggregate 30 or 35 before going to the senior high school.
Right.
And from there, he has not pulled his weight. And he said, I'm going to training college. Then training college is the only way I can go and come and government will take care of me, will pay alawa for me so that I'll be sustained. From there, you come back to the classroom. You cannot be a quality teacher. You can't be efficient in the classroom because the basis how you started was questionable. You didn't go in with a better grade. If you enter into training college or secondary school with a better grade, you pass out with a better grade. You go to university, and do very well. So when you pass, like UCC, now you go to UCC, that is Cape Coast University, you come out as a teacher.
Right.
The expectation is that you'll be a quality and qualified teacher to handle children. You realize that some of them also has a question mark. They are not teaching very well because they entered with a poor grade.
So don't you think that the teacher licensure exams is intended to flush out some of those ones from the system?
Not really to remove them from the system actually, but it's a waste of time. I am thinking that it's a waste of teachers' time.
Okay.
You are wasting their time because if they are not qualified to your level, don't go. You wanted that way. So when they pass out,